So I totally pulled over on my kid's school run to share this with everybody today because it's way too good to pass up. And if I think about it too long, then the message is just not going to be there. So when we're interacting with this physical world, there's 7 different perceptions that we can create reality from. There's 7 different viewpoints. And each one of these viewpoints is a different focus of your power. For the majority of the time, we've got the first 3, which deal quite a bit with being a human, right? This is where you are steeped in the perspective that you're human and that physical reality is what is governing you. Then we have the balance point, the bridge point, which is the 4th level of consciousness. This is where you drop your judgment, your limitations, your untruths. And then you have your 5th, 6th, and 7th level of consciousness, which is where you're drawing from the realization and from the complete and totality of knowing that you are a being who creates reality, that reality is flowing through you and stuff happens to you this way. Now, anytime anybody hears this, their brain does one of 2 things. It either thinks it's a high level of consciousness or it thinks that it's not. And that's not what the levels of consciousness do. They're not a hierarchy to say who's better or who worse. Then the brain naturally categorizes you in that because it always wants to be the best. Like the brain is the ultimate person. It's always like, I am the best. I am always the best, unless it actually thinks it's the worst. But it's a system of thought to show you where you're drawing your power from. And I'm going to give you a really great example. So in the first 3, we have control, struggle, stress, where most of us are living without even knowing. This comes from living automatically with your brain and your heart have so much power to lead and to direct your life. When you're not doing it, they kind of just get all like weird and they take over because they realize that they have to run the show. So that's like the human part running the show, where it's like, okay, I better do this because there's no consciousness taking me over. And it leads to quite a survival state. Not necessarily always in like panic of survival, but it's your raw nuclear power plant unfocused and unled. Higher states of consciousness, so when we're sitting in 5th, 6th, and 7th, this is purposely directing your reality. It's a high level of play. It's a high level of unconditional love. And I highlight unconditional love. For the most part, a lot of us have experienced conditional love. So conditional love meaning rules and regulations have come with it instead of all allowing coming with it. Not permissive, where it's also adding abuse. Whenever I say that, people are like, well, if I allow everything, then I have to allow that person to hurt me. No, love doesn't let things get hurt. Love stands up for itself. Guys, come on. Love stands up for itself. Don't be that kid who's raising their hand there, okay? But in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, we've got pure love, all unconditional love, like absolutely, like, oh my gosh, I love this about that. And love calls stuff out too. It's like, well, that was total crap. I don't want to do that again, but I loved this part. And well, I see how this came for me. There's pure imagination, which is a high state of play. Kids are in this quite a bit before they're learning how the planet works. Kids are often in imagination, creativity. It's instantaneous, this stuff. And then we have the launching of all thought. That's a different subject. But when we're in the human system, your energy splits. So your mind and your emotions split from each other, where they're meant to work as one. They're meant to work together. And that's when you have balance. That's when you kind of go over top the bridge. But when your energy is split, your mind will do weird things and your heart will do weird things. A classic example of the mind doing weird things is it tries to control everything. Or a classic example of the heart doing weird things is when when it feels like it doesn't have any power. A lot of times this is considered victim mode, or when it's kind of desperate for something, right? These are all cues that it's off balance. We see most of the time an out of control mind likes to do rules and regulations. It likes to say, okay, you did that, so I'm going to put this rule here. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this my way. I'm going to stop that from happening because it feels out of control. But when you bring yourself back into balance, meaning your heart and your mind are working together, and you have access to play, and you have access to funniness and to happiness, things change exponentially for you. And it is that interaction, it is that thought, when you can balance your energy, bring yourself into play, that you will find yourself being taken into the next life, which means the next thought, the next moment, the next experience. My phone totally just fell. It's totally fine. You totally loved it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's good. It's good. It's part of the charm. When you take yourself into that next experience, that's where your life starts shifting. That's where your life starts shifting and shifting and shifting, because you don't have to wait to have a new body to have a new life. It's moment by moment. It's drawing a new life to you. Okay? This morning, my teenage son grabbed a bread knife and cut a bun, a huge bun, just over nothing, just over top of the floor. Just straight up all over the floor. Crumbs everywhere, and I'm standing here and I'm watching him do this. And here's our infinite potential. This can play out in an infinite number of ways, determining how I see it. So in lower levels of consciousness, this could have looked like yelling at him. This could have looked at him saying a comment like, you're going to go sweep that up, right? This could have looked like me trying to make rules. This could have been me thinking, oh God, my kids, they're always doing this. What a pain in the butt. I can't believe it. They don't respect me. There's all kinds of things that can go on here. That all of those would take me into the experience, would take me into that interaction with my son and bring forth a result, right? All of those possibilities are there. I sat and I watched it. I just stared at the crumbs, amused, just completely amused. In this moment, I was like, let's see how this plays out. And I just watched it. He went and he grabbed a broom, seeing me just stare at these crumbs. And he was like, oh, geez. Oh, no. Right? He went and grabbed a broom and he swept it up. And when he did, I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Oh, hooray. I thought I was going to have to live with those crumbs on the floor forever. I thought they were never going to go away. And I started making a really big joke about it. And he's laughing like a little bit, not like full out laughing, but he's like, okay, Mom, you're making a big deal out of this. This is like kind of dumb. But as he's doing this and as I'm making fun of it, I can tell he's open for this, right? I can tell he's having a little bit of fun with this too. So I start making a joke. I'm like, oh, sometimes people ask me what horror movies I watch. And I say, oh, I watch my kids cut buns over top of my freshly cleaned floor without a plate. That's a horror movie. Oh, true crime. Yeah. The crimes that were committed in my house today were this. And I'm laughing. I went to our whiteboard. I drew a cartoon of this bun getting cut open with a knife, and he's laughing so hard. He's like, I don't even want to eat this bun anymore, right? Like, I don't even want to do this anymore. And the whole thing turned into a level of connection. It turned into a point of a little bit of mischief. It turned into a little bit of magic. And whether or not he chooses to cut his bun open on the floor another time, it really doesn't matter. He will or he won't. And even if a next time I don't choose to interact with him through play or through these moments of miracles, that's not the point. The point is that I did there. The point is that I made it fun. And when I drew that, that was the drawing of opportunity. That was pulling full potential and anything existing in that moment. One of the most common things I see with people on a spiritual path is they try to make stuff outside of them. We get the concept, we get the knowledge, right? We get that kind of knowledge like, oh yeah, I am a spiritual being, but this is what it means to live that wisdom. This is what it means to draw that forward to you, is to make these things mundane. And you can be saying, well, Tanya, yeah, well, that's great. But in the moment, I'm stressed and I don't have this and I don't have that. And maybe this goes wrong that way or this happens. And I'm telling you, nothing is going wrong there. It's pointing to you. It's those situations are pointing to you where you have something out of balance, where there's some kind of judgment living on, where there's some kind of, sometimes it's traumas, sometimes it's just beliefs. And beliefs are just decisions that we made about reality. We looked at something when we were little and like, oh yeah, that's how that works. That must be how all things work. This is how you bring it into your day-to-day life. It's not always going on retreats. Those are fun. Those are cool. Go do them. But it's these tiny little moments in day-to-day life where you're engaging that way, when you're bringing this stuff forward. This is what makes life so sweet. And this is what makes it so exciting. But when we have these imbalances in our life, it's pointing to something deeper inside of us. Typically a story that's been going on for so long, that's been interacted with so many times, it's playing out automatically. And anytime anything plays out automatically in the human, it's coming from survival most often. Not always, because there are some really fantastic things that play out automatically in your life. You're like, oh, those things are working for you, but those are coded in joy and laughter, right? So they're automatic. They feel really good. You can always elevate those too. You can always have more fun with those. But when we're pulling stuff, right? When we're interacting with these tiny moments that typically make us mad, that typically stress us out, and you choose to observe them, to have fun with them, to make light of them, to see what the opportunities hold for you, that's when you turn the mundane into miracles. And likely it's kind of been human nature to turn miracles into the mundane by getting mad at it, by having it be inconvenient, by living stressed out. We take miracles and we turn them into mundane things. Oof. Ugh. Gross, right? Totally gross. Right? Like, that doesn't feel good when you sit with that. Like, oh man, come on. I've been living this miraculous life, and so many times we're out there chasing something that we don't even know if we want, right? Or we're trying to get somewheres, when life is leading you and saying, if you would just pay attention to me, and if you would just interact with me, I would bring you everything you could ever ask for, and more, and more. Because the moment we ask for something, it's delivered to us. It's delivered to us. And it's not because the universe is showing to test you. It's not these situations are showing up to test you. They're calling forward. Right? Because when you choose to interact in a different way, you choose a different life path, you choose a different timeline, you choose a different step. It's moment by moment, little tiny choices that are moving this. That's the idea I needed to get out. Thank you for watching through the clip where I dropped my phone. I mean, other people, other channels have all of those fancy things where they're slicing in all these different things for you to look at. Me, I just straight up drop my phone, and then, you know what? Then I film the rest of it crooked. Yeah, you don't like it? Turn the video off. I love you. Thank you for watching. If you're looking in your life to make these kind of shifts, to make your life, right, to turn your mundane things into miracles, if you've had something that's been tripping you up, this is definitely where I help people out. all the time. I have events where we get to the root cause of what's going on, to that pinpoint in time where you're like, hey, you decided reality worked this way and it's been screwing with you ever since. And no matter what you try, it hasn't been working out, right? We get to that and then we move, we shift. This is how I've turned countless limitations into the freedom to be able to choose my thought and my emotion in the moment, right? I could tell you about money. I could tell you about love. I could tell you about all of these kinds of things that we think that we want. But at the very core of it, I have freedom of thought and emotion. And that to me is worth more than anything. It's not a do-it-yourself journey. It is something that we do with friends, and you're always welcome to be with me and my incredible crowd. So until the next one, I almost want to say keep fit and have fun like Joanne and Hal. But thank you for being here. I absolutely love sharing this stuff with you guys, and I can't wait to see you again.